So I recently turned 53, and it kind of hit me that, wow, I'm in my mid-50s now. And it made me wonder, am I too old to be starting a YouTube channel? Or am I too old to be an active real estate investor? One of the limiting beliefs that I've been thinking about over the last few years is, am I just too old to be doing new things like this? I mean, most people that I see on YouTube are younger, and many people that are successful in real estate have been doing it for a long time, and they got started when they were younger. And you've probably got your own limiting belief, which you can, insert right here, that I'm sure is running through your mind right now. Well, I'm here to prove to you that that's completely untrue. If you're in your late 40s or 50s or 60s or older, I want to encourage you to try the thing that you've been dreaming of or that you've been scared of. So in this video, I want you to realize the advantages that you have. And I also want to show you some examples of people that have done it themselves to give you some confidence. Let's start with those advantages. The first one is life experience. Those of us older individuals have a wealth of life experience and work experience, and this experience can translate into better decision making, stronger business strategies, and a deeper understanding of people and how the world works. Plus, if you're an immigrant, you've seen a lot. You've seen how things worked in your country, for example, and now how things are working here. So that is just a huge amount of experience that you've been exposed to that you can use to your advantage. You also have many contacts that you've made over the years, probably have tens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of people that you know. And those contacts can be very useful in starting a business or doing a new project or whatever it might be. You're also likely more calculated and more careful when you make decisions because you've seen what can happen when people don't make good decisions. And so you've got all these things that younger people just are not going to have. The second big advantage we have right now is life expectancy. We're in a very unique time right now in the history of the human race because there have been a lot of advancements made recently in the field of longevity, which seeks to extend how long we're able to live a full life on this planet. Someone that I follow on this topic that I respect a lot is a guy named David Sinclair. He's a professor of genetics at the Harvard Medical School and is the co-director of the Paul F. Glenn Center for Biology of Aging Research at Harvard. Check out what he says here.
In my lab now, we can control aging very precisely at will. We can speed it up as fast as we want in an animal and even reverse it. So aging is now controllable. We have the technology to control how fast we age. We can measure that, slow it down, and even reverse it. This has never happened in human history before. And one of the reasons that we're doing this today is to make sure everybody knows that this is coming, because it's going to fundamentally change the course of human history.
Think of the technology that might soon be released to everybody in the next 5, 10, 20 years, potentially extend our lifespan and have a fulfilling life longer. That would be incredible. David's got a lot of content. He's got a great podcast, and his book is excellent. It's called Lifespan. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. David, his colleagues, and other people in the industry are really making a lot of changes to be able to increase longevity of humans, which is really pretty incredible. And hopefully we're going to be able to take advantage of that. The next advantage I want you to realize is you have perspective. The dictionary defines perspective as the capacity to view things in their true relations or relative importance. Because of your experience, you're able to see things in perspective versus everything else that's out there. And it's something that younger people have difficulty doing. When I think of perspective, I think of somebody that I follow online named Gary Vaynerchuk, which you may or may not have heard of. He's an immigrant. He was born in the Soviet Union and then came very young to the United States. So he grew up almost like an American, but his family is from the Soviet Union. Now, he's most well known for his marketing prowess. He's an incredible digital marketer. But one of the things I admire about him is his outlook on life. Gary talks about how long life truly is, and I totally agree with him. I mean, I'm 53. I've had just over 30 years worth of work experience so far. To think that I have another 30 years to go is actually really exciting. I may be unique compared to some other people, but my idea of retirement isn't really retirement per se. I don't ever see myself stopping to doing the things that I like to do. And I like to work. I like to do things like real estate investing. And I like to do this YouTube channel. And these are things that I enjoy, and I want to keep doing them as long as I can. Check out this short clip that Gary posted that talks about this a little bit.
Hey guys, it's Gary. and I've got 50 seconds for you. This is 50 seconds for every 50-year-old in the world. I need you to understand something. You have so much time. I'm in entrepreneur land and I meet with all these kids, show these kids, all these kids, and they're taking advantage of the new world, right? But they're young and they're raw and they've got a lot of great, and some of them are great and they'll be all-time great. But what blows me away is how many of you have decided that you're finished, that you're on the back end of your life, that you can't accomplish it, that this wasn't built for you. I'm 41 years old. I didn't grow up with this shit either, but I figured it out. You figured out how to drive, you figured out how to be a parent, you figured it all out. And with the health trends and the way the world is now, you've got a long life in front of you. So instead of sitting in that job for the next 10 years, go do your thing. You've got plenty and plenty of time.
Hey, real quick, are you liking this video? If so, please click the like button so YouTube knows that people like you are finding this valuable, and we'll share this out to more immigrants. Now back to the video. Okay, so I've just talked about 3 advantages that you have because of where you are in life. And now I'm going to talk about some examples of people that have been able to do incredible things later in life. The first example that comes to my mind is my grandparents. They fled Cuba in 1960 when Fidel Castro took over. And my grandfather was in his mid-40s, and so was his wife. And he was a very successful attorney in Cuba. But when he got to the US, obviously you can't practice Cuban law in the US. So he ended up waiting tables to be able to make enough money to support the family while he worked on his master's, and then he eventually got his PhD in Spanish and then taught college level Spanish the rest of his life. To think of somebody in their mid-40s going to a different country, different language, could no longer do what they did as a profession, and to start all over again and to be able to be as successful as he was just blows my mind. All of my grandparents I truly admire because they took a lot of chances to come here and became very successful in this country. And you could probably relate to this. I mean, maybe this is your story or your parents' story. This is the story of the immigrant, which is why I have tremendous admiration for immigrants in this country. Now let's look at a different example. This guy I've admired for a long time, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why do I admire him? Because he came in his teens to the US to become a bodybuilder. He became Mr. Olympia 7 times, which is the highest honor you can get in weightlifting. 7 times he became Mr. Olympia. He then went on to an acting career. He starred in all the Terminator series, Predator movie, True Lies, a bunch of different movies that I've watched over the years. He was a super successful actor. And then, at the age of 56, he said, you know what? I'm going to run for governor of California. Can you believe it? And he won. He won. He was governor for 8 years, from 2003 to 2011. And what I love about this guy is that he transformed himself into somebody different twice. He went from weightlifting to acting to being governor at 56. And he wasn't born in this country. He has a pretty thick accent when he talks. And that doesn't hold him back. He doesn't feel self-conscious about it. And he's an immigrant to this country. And what he's been able to do is really remarkable. And it's one of the reasons why I think so many immigrants love the United States. It's because if you have talent and you work hard, you can make it in this country. Another example is a guy named Harlan Sanders, better known as Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders is the inventor of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, looking at Colonel Sanders' bio, he had all kinds of jobs before he was 50. He was a fireman, a farmer, insurance salesman, streetcar conductor. He also worked at a gas station and started selling chicken. His chicken became so popular that he franchised the idea in 1952 at the age of 62. So he really hit it big with fried chicken at the age of 62, which is really impressive. Another example that I love is Ray Kroc. If you don't know Ray is the inventor of what we know as McDonald's. Before he was 50 years old, Ray Kroc was a salesman. He would go door to door and go visiting businesses selling different things. It was when he was selling milkshake mixers that he met Dick and Mac McDonald's. He worked with them to develop what became known as the McDonald's model that he ended up franchising. By the age of 63, they had already opened 400 McDonald's around the country. If you don't know much about his story, I'd recommend watching the movie The Founder. It's really a good movie, and it shows an example of what he was able to do as he was older in life. Now, one big obstacle that a lot of us have is fear what others are going to say. You know, what if my coworkers find out, or my family finds out, or whatever, or what I'm up to? Well, we only have one life. And in my opinion, it's just not worth putting so much weight in the opinions of others, when really what's important is what makes you happy. And finally, I want to talk about regret, because this is something that I think about often. I don't want to get to my 80s, 90s and regret not having tried different things that I always dreamed about. You know, we have one life to live, so why not make the most of it? I've read about people that take care of those that are dying and ask about what the lessons are of their lives as they're coming close to their end. And often something is mentioned as regret, not having asked a girl out, not having enjoyed life more, not having tried that thing that they always wanted to try, perhaps because of fear of what others might say. So at the end of the day, we do have one life. And honestly, right now is the best time to be doing something like that. So if there's something that you've been thinking about doing and you've been scared, or you've been wondering, hey, what's going to happen if I try this, or I'm not really sure I'm capable of it, then just give it a shot. I hope this video gave you a shot in the arm, a boost to your confidence to try that thing you've been dreaming of. I know that I'll never regret doing what I'm doing right now because it's fun and I enjoy it, and it's something that adds value in people's lives. So thank you for watching the Immigrant Wealth Channel.